Not much time. I have to be quick. Ben Stiller and Apple TV Plus are after me because me and Chris's theories were too good. Yeah, it is a simulation. Probably. I mean, we'll see in the next couple episodes.
You're an innie looking Audi, and now you're the same thing. But like
Yeah.
maybe you're an Audi looking innie. That that's
See
like
that
their mood board for visuals is just innie looking Audi, big font on the wall.
See, the main reason I don't think this is where the show's go, but the main reason I did start thinking simulation is like I only episode I got those vibes is when they did the outing, because I was like, it almost feels like when they're having the really wide shots and showing us like this landscape, like they want us to see the art of, like, they could, I mean, green screen VFX technology and just like an Apple budget, they could make this look completely seamless and like the most realistic ever. But there's moments where it's like, you want me to see that this is kind of phony environment, right? Like, and like, even with like contextually in the story wise, like just Milicek making up shit about where they are, like, of like, that's the tallest waterfall in the world.
This is the tallest waterfall on the planet.
Yeah, I
Like,
thought that was the most peculiar part of that episode, was like him going, "This is the tallest." It's like,
no, it's not.
no, it's not. What are you
Or
talking about, bro?
unless in this world there's no more waterfalls, and that's like, it's like a Children of Men but for waterfalls. Like,
There's no, I don't think it's magnets. I truly think, like, if we're gonna get into like simulation, like all of, if any of that is accurate to the portrayal of technology, right? Because like we only see what's represented on screen, and if some of that technology exists, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense for the show and whatever. Um, but I would imagine it does. I don't think that, like, quote unquote the real world is going to be wildly different, but like the servers themselves can represent however they want. It's a video game at that point, right? You can set
honestly,
dress and set the limits and stuff. So
yeah, I may be all in on simulation because the more I think about it, the more it explains away, like, any question of like, because again, it could, you could explain some things away of artistic license of like these never ending like hallways that, like, you know, like lead to like endless mazes of corridors and stuff. It's like you could just be like, well, that's just, or they built it really confusingly so that, you know, the employees wouldn't be able to find each other, or it's a simulation and they're changing the layout of the place in real time, and that, you know, they can just move where rooms or offices or the different departments are because it's not real, so they can, you know, because we saw a little bit of that with Gemma too when she was trying to find the elevator, and it just looked like all those rooms went on forever. I mean, it was dark too, so they were kind of obfuscating what we could actually see when she was making her break for it, but like,
But in that episode last week that everyone thought was filler, that was like the key to the whole thing. Like, Harmony Korine or Harmony Corbell, whatever the fuck her name is, that she's like at the edge of the simulation. Like, you can't leave that town. Like, that's just where she grew up. That the bounds of Cold Harbor are there, and that's some clues, some map she needs to find to like find like the actual exit. Like, that's why she was going through all that stuff to find the map. And yeah, that's, I mean, that explains why like her old chum has, he talks like a video game NPC.
The town is older than I remembered. Frailer.
Yeah, well, with the market readjustment from a few years ago and the fluctuating interest rates, there was a retrenchment from some of the core infrastructure investments.
yeah. Now that we've been talking about server hopping, I do think that she's server hopping.
I think she's server hopping. I think Fields and Bert have server hopped because of that. Remember that little slip up when he was talking about there was some time discrepancy or something where he was like, yeah, like 10 years ago or something when he was severed before, and then uh Fields was like, oh, uh, no, you mean 6 years or so. Like someone caught him in the discrepancy and was like, yeah, that was only Severance has only been around for so long.
Do you know history?
Yeah, he knows history.
It wasn't 10 years ago, it was 20. No. Yes.
No.
Yes, because I remember we're having drinks with your Lumon partner. Quite startled him.
Didn't the first severed office open 12 years ago?
Yes, it did. Maybe that's enough of that.
So I think they've been in an earlier iteration and still retain their knowledge of that. For some reason, they just get to chill, and knowing that, I don't know if it's like you buy your way into like being at that tier where you can just sip wine with your husband and like kind of be swingers. Like that, I mean, like, wouldn't rich people pay to do that, to like go to the Matrix and swing and drink wine? Like that seems like
I'm
a
pretty
thing.
positive that's a scene in the Matrix. When they meet the Frenchman.
The Merovingian, yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking love the Merovingian. I love everything about all the Matrix movies now. I'm a huge defender of Reloaded. I Reloaded's my favorite sequel, but I can make a case for all the sequels. But the Merovingian is interesting because he goes on all these like monologues about causality and shit, and then he makes a cake that he programmed to give another program an orgasm, and then she eats the orgasm cake.
That's the right thing to do. That's the right way to make baked goods, right? We just watch the writers of Ben Stiller being like, I played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and you got to leave the map for the dungeon, and and that's where it all started.
That's a good Ben Stiller.
That's my best Ben Stiller.
I made Zoolander. Justin Theroux co-wrote it with me with his huge dong.
I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice of...